In the heart of Tanzania's Serengeti Game Reserve, a vast and untamed land, lives an elderly man named Makand. Once a devoted ranger, Mr. Makand has spent over 50 years protecting this wilderness, from the vigor of his youth to the twilight of his life. Over the decades, he committed himself to shielding wildlife from poachers and preserving the natural balance. To the people of the Serengeti, he is more than a man. He is a living legend, known for his quiet strength and unwavering compassion. Even after retirement, he still drives his aging vehicle every morning to patrol the reserve. Young rangers often seek him out for advice, inspired by his deep wisdom and lifelong dedication. The animals, elephants, lions, giraffes, zebras, and rhinos, all seem to sense his care. He's especially attentive to the older animals that reside in the sanctuary's protected zones. Though his body has weakened with age, his spirit remains fierce. Recently, the Serengeti has faced more intense heat, with temperatures soaring to 45 degrees Celsius. On that sweltering morning, the sun beat down relentlessly across the land. The scorching air drove animals into the shade of the few large trees that dotted the reserve. Still, Mr. Makand insisted on making his rounds, determined to check on a rhino that had been injured the day before. He navigated his way to a dense thicket where the animal was recuperating. His car rumbled slowly along the uneven path through the parched savanna. Hot wind blew through the windows, drenching him in sweat. Once he arrived, he stepped out and cautiously approached to observe from afar. The rhino was still frail. Its long wound remained unhealed. Mr. Makand crept closer to inspect its condition, eyes filled with worry and affection. Then, a sudden pain struck his chest, sharp and unexpected. It spread quickly, making him lightheaded and disoriented. He collapsed to his knees in the dry grass, his skin pale and glistening with sweat. Nearby, two fellow rangers, Elijah and Musa, were tending to zebras when they heard his faint cry. They rushed over and found Mr. Makand lying still. Elijah checked for a pulse. His heart was irregular. Musa searched through his pockets for medication but came up empty. In his rush to head out, it seemed Mr. Makand had forgotten his medicine. The situation was critical. Elijah called for an emergency team via radio. Everything else was halted as staff scrambled to help. A medical vehicle sped to the site, and Mr. Makand was quickly transported to the reserve's infirmary. Throughout the ride, Elijah kept calling his name, urging him to stay with them. But the old man's eyes began to close, his breath shallow and uneven. Upon arrival, doctors immediately began emergency procedures. They performed CPR and used a defibrillator. The air in the small medical room was thick with tension. After more than 15 minutes, a doctor gently declared that his heart had stopped long before. A heavy silence fell. The confirmation sent a wave of sorrow through the reserve. Word spread fast. Staff gathered in shock, faces blank with disbelief. They had just lost their foundation, their guiding light. His family was notified. Grief hung in the air. As per Mr. Makand's wishes, his funeral would be held within the reserve. Everyone came together to organize a ceremony in line with local traditions. At dawn the next day, with sunlight just beginning to spill across the land, the team assembled. In the central courtyard of the sanctuary, a simple wooden bed had been placed. Mr. Makand lay peacefully atop it, his expression serene. One by one, people approached, eyes brimming with emotion. Elijah stood by him, gently touching his weathered hand, memories flashing through his mind. Musa lit incense in silence, whispering a quiet prayer. Then a sudden roar echoed from the sanctuary gate. Everyone turned, startled, only to see a large male lion slowly approaching. It walked through the crowd with regal calm, its eyes full of knowing. Though some instinctively stepped back, the lion showed no aggression. It padded gracefully toward the wooden bed, where the old man rested. No one dared to speak. The lion circled once, then stopped at the foot of the bed, lowering its head. In a gesture of solemn respect, the air was thick with awe. Elijah, stunned, noticed a deep scar along the lion's side. recognition dawned. It was the same lion he and Mr. McCand had rescued 15 years earlier. Back then, a pride had been trapped by poachers, and this lion was gravely injured. Together they had freed it, treated the wound, and returned it to the wild. Against all odds, the lion had survived, and now it had come back. Perhaps to say goodbye. It had been silently watching over its old friend for years. Somehow, upon sensing Mr. McCand's passing, the lion returned to bid farewell. Its quiet loyalty and gratitude touched every heart present. Elijah slowly moved forward, gently attempting to soothe the lion. To everyone's surprise, it remained calm, simply lowering its head. One by one, others gathered around, drawn into the sacred stillness of the moment. The fear that once lingered melted away, replaced by a shared sorrow over the loss of a man so deeply cherished. When the ceremony in the courtyard concluded, they carried Mr. McCand's body to a peaceful field he had always loved. And the lion trailed behind, letting out soft, aching roars as though mourning in its own way. The group stopped beneath a large shade tree, where green grass swayed gently in the wind. They dug a quiet resting place, carefully laying him to rest. The entire reserve seemed to pause, honoring this final farewell. Elijah and Musa placed a simple stone marker with his name etched into it, a tribute to his 5 decades of devoted service. A traditional ceremony followed, held by the local community to pray for his spirit's eternal peace. The lion stayed near the grave, its head bowed, never looking away. Then it lifted its head and let out a powerful roar that echoed across the open plain, a cry filled with heartbreak and reverence. Slowly the group departed, leaving the lion alone at the site. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the Serengeti sky turned a deep, fiery red. The silhouette of the lion beside the grave was a haunting, unforgettable image. The following day, the reserve paused all routine activities in remembrance. Many came to light incense, lay wildflowers near his grave, and whisper quiet prayers. From time to time, the lion returned alone, sitting quietly as if keeping vigil. Mr. McCand had given it the gift of life, and now it repaid him through this silent devotion. Elijah and Musa also came often, speaking to the grave as though continuing their shared mission of protecting the wild. The tale of Mr. McCand, the legendary ranger, will forever echo through the Serengeti, and beside that legacy will always be the story of a lion's eternal gratitude for the man who saved it. Dear friends, thank you for watching this video until the end. If you were moved by this story, please like and subscribe to our channel to support us. Until next time, take care and see you in the next episode.